Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying and to the echoey kitchen with the broken clock. Slight update to the scenery today though. We've got a vase with some plastic flowers in it. So the kitchen is actually in the basement. So that's why the flowers are plastic, because there's probably not enough light. I noticed when I was editing a video the other day that it had one of those sticking across the screen, so I thought I'll move it a bit closer. So it's a feature. Anyway, a couple of little bits of housekeeping. Sorry there wasn't a video yesterday with one thing and another. I just didn't quite get to it. There will be some exciting things coming up though. I've got working on a few things. That said though, as I'm in the UK, I would really like to do some filming with some cars. So if you have a rally car, it can be anything from a club car to a WRC car, I would like to film it. So let me know, drop me a message, drop me a comment below. I've got a couple of things in mind with a couple of friends' cars, so I will try and do something with that over the next few weeks. Starting next week, in fact, it's a road car actually next week, but it is worth covering. Other thing, in terms of me, in case you're wondering, we're still waiting. So the reason that I've still got a full head of hair is because treatment has not started yet. So yeah, so that is just under 2 weeks away. We start the treatment, so something to look forward to, maybe. I don't know. I think I would say that I'm kind of anxious to just get on with it now, a little bit concerned about it, but I kind of just want to get on with it. So basically, I've got to have 6 weeks of radiotherapy and chemotherapy, so it'll be 5 days a week radiotherapy with 1 session of chemotherapy every week. So it's going to be pretty intense, but just have to do what you can, don't you, and get through it. I will say I will use this platform and the 5 people that watch this video. If you have any doubt, anything feels weird, any lumps, bumps, go and get them looked at. I will keep saying that, as everyone does when they're in this position. Just go and get it checked. Anyway, don't want to keep talking about that. A couple of things. I want to talk about Hayden Paddon a little bit in this video, because there was a news story came out about him this week. I do also want to mention a couple of rallies that are this weekend that I didn't get a chance to do proper previews of. So in the British Championship, we've got the Jim Clark Rally, which is obviously a really iconic tarmac event and was the UK's first mainland tarmac closed road rally. Who's going to win that? I feel like Marion Nevins might win it in the Castrol Toyota. So I don't know, tricky one that, isn't it? Obviously the main thing that I just wanted to mention about that, I don't want to get too much into a preview because it's a bit late because the rally's about to start anyway, is obviously that marks a year since we lost Di Roberts in a really awful accident at that event last year. So yeah, I've seen a few posts on social media about that. So obviously I think the big thing from this weekend is obviously just a reminder of Di Roberts, isn't it? Other thing I just want to touch on quickly, in the European Championship, we have the Royal Rally of Scandinavia. Didn't have a chance to do a full preview about that. I don't tend to do full previews about ERC. I do wonder, does anyone actually watch the ERC? Do people follow it that closely? It's really interesting because I think it's a really good championship and I like the format. And I think it is a good hunting ground and proving ground for young drivers. But it always feels like to me, it doesn't get the level of recognition it deserves. It doesn't get the following it deserves. Obviously, it's on rally TV and things. And it feels like it never gets the kind of media that it deserves. So are you a close follower of that? Do let me know in the comments. There's a decent selection of drivers on it. I think it's relatively short, obviously, compared to a WRC event, 180 something kilometres, I want to say. But there's a good entry. Timo Sunnenen's there. Mikolaj Martic is there. Smiling Sesks is there in a Rally 2 Skoda. That's interesting. Fabrizio Zoldivar. Andrea Mabellini, of course. William Crichton, he was kicking off his European campaign. Who else have we got? Jacob Matulka, Tuukka Korpinen, Tristan Charpentier, Simone Tempestini. That is your top 10. So a decent entry. It's good to see that the ERC is still attracting big names. Timo Sunnenen, he won the WRC2, didn't he, last time out? So that was good, wasn't it? That was good on gravel. So maybe he will be able to repeat that, but he has got some competition. I think the name I'm watching there is probably Martin Sesks, isn't it? Because he needs to keep proving himself, doesn't he? I think for me, a good result here is just more evidence, isn't it, that he needs more time in the Rally 1 car. So hopefully he can kind of push that, because as I said when I was talking recently, it is a travesty to me that he's not in a Rally 1 car full time when he is the best M Sport driver. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about those anymore because they're about to start and there's no point, is there? Because by the time you watch this, the rallies might be over anyway, because I want to talk instead about Hayden Paddon. And the reason that I want to do that is because there was a story on WRC.com saying that Hyundai have told him that his approach for for Rally Japan, which is next weekend, is that he can go flat out. And I thought that was quite interesting because he has played a very particular role, hasn't he, as the third Hyundai driver does. You know, it's all about bringing points home for the team and being the support act effectively for Thierry Neuville and Adrien Fourmeau. And I think it's interesting that Padden has been allowed off the leash on this particular rally because, I mean, partly because, I mean, he's been used for tarmac rallies so far, which seems a bit odd given, you know, his background is very much on gravel. So that seems a bit weird. And also saying, well, go as fast as you want on a tarmac rally. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're a Hyundai driver, does it actually matter how fast you try and go on tarmac because the car's a bit crap on tarmac? I don't know. I'm being a bit unfair. If you think about Ilas Canarias, obviously they were miles, you know, they were miles off. That event does not suit them, does not suit the car. If you go back to Rally Croatia, then Thierry Neuville was obviously on course to win that event when he had a little boo-boo and that put him off the road and put him out. So on a tougher, slipperier tarmac event, it is possible that Hyundai could be competitive. That said, obviously Japan is a very different rally, isn't it? Because it's usually at the end of the season when it's wet and there's lots of leaves on the floor and it's very difficult. This time we're going there in the early summer. So if it's dry, that's going to make things very different, isn't it? That's going to make things very different for Hayden Paddon and potentially very difficult because we might be in a slightly more Ilas Canarias situation than in a Croatia situation. So I thought it was interesting that they decided to publicly state that Padden is being allowed to, you know, to go as fast as he wants on a rally that might not actually suit them at all. It seems weird to kind of big yourself up when you actually might find yourself on the back of a Toyota 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially. So it seemed a bit weird to me. You know, looking at the results last year, I think Fourmeau was in contention for a podium for, you know, a chunk of the weekend until he went off. But if you look at stage times, I think Hyundai only won 3 stages out of 20. And what's interesting, isn't it, is going back to what I was talking about earlier, is that it was in the autumn and then it would have been slippery and not as easy to drive on. So that was an event that would have been maybe more like the Croatia-style Japan than the Ilas Canarias Japan. So for me, it seems a bit of a weird one. I will, of course, do a full Rally Japan preview. That will be on Monday, so I'm not going to go any further into that or into the other teams. I'm just interested in what you think of it. You know, is it right for Hyundai to come out and say, well, we're going to let Padden really go for it, because he could really go for it, and, you know, with all the best will in the world, he could still end up finishing 6th, couldn't he? So we just don't know. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. As I said, I will do a full preview on Monday though, so you can stay tuned, I hope, for that. Let me know though. Let me know what you think about that one. And I mean, from Hayden's perspective, I mean, obviously he's grateful, and as I said, he's grateful for any opportunity in the car. This is the last tarmac rally of the year. I think one question I'd like to ask you is, how much do you think we will see Hayden Paddon in the second part of the season? You know, only gravel events left. He has said that he wants to drive the car on gravel. Will we see him, or will they revert to Esa-Pekka Lappi and Danny Sordo? Let me know what you think about that. Which events do you think that Padden should be wheeled out for? I'd like to know your thoughts on that one. While you're there, perhaps you could hit those like and subscribe buttons. Apologies again for missing my usual Thursday slot and for things being slightly rushed, but as you can imagine, obviously things are a bit weird right now. But as I said, Monday we'll have a Rally Japan preview. Next Thursday we should have an interesting little video on a car, so stay tuned for all of that. And all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time.